all 72 sects unanimously declare only one community to be non-Muslim. Hazrat Muhammad said that 72 will be hellbound. Only one community will remain in one side. That will be paradise bound.
The continuity and growth of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community has been blessed by the revival of the institution of Khilafat in Islam. The Khalifa is the spiritual head of the worldwide community, and his every command is obeyed by his followers. Thus, Ahmadi Muslims from all walks of life stand united behind one leader.
The institution of Khilafat, which can be described as the system of spiritual leadership in Islam, is one of the very important things to be understood. After the demise of the Holy Prophet of Islam, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, he made a prophecy that there will be a system of caliphate after him, which will continue up to nearly 30 years. And this is exactly what happened. And then he mentioned that there is another stage in the period of latter days when this institution will be restarted again, re-established again. And that would naturally be after the demise of the one who was promised to come, the reformer of the age, the promised Messiah and Imam Mahdi. When he will pass away, after his demise, again, once again, this system of Khilafat will be established.
Ma kanat nabuwatun qattu illa tabi'athu khilafatun. There was no prophethood which was not followed by a series of successes.
Because of this, Ahmadi Muslims have become the most highly organized, educated and disciplined Muslim community.
Allah wahi al-Jamaat. That remember it, that one group is going to be that which is really and truly a Jamaat, a well-organized community. And by that he was referring, obviously, to that verse of the Holy Quran in Surah Nur, where Allah Almighty has mentioned that the righteous people will be blessed with the institution of Khilafat.
The blessing of Khilafat is something very important for the continuation of true Islam in the world, because anything without a head cannot continue, cannot survive. And Khilafat is the head of the body of Islam. So without Khilafah, Islam cannot survive.
It's a blessing. You look at the rest of the Muslim world, this is a fact, and no one can deny this. Anyone who looks at this, we are the only community which is unified. We're unified under one spiritual leader, which is known as Khalifatul Masih. This is a great miracle, and it is a miracle, because all these people around the world, at one moment, when the Khalifa mentions anything, when Khalifatul Masih says anything, they listen with attentiveness and they obey him. You will not find that anywhere else in the world. You will not find it in any other Muslim community.
Labbaik ya habib man, labbaik sayyidi, labbaik ya imamana, labbaik murshid.
And we can see that by the grace of Allah, our Ahmadiyya Muslim community is the only one from all the Muslim sects today which is having this institution of Khilafat, and under the banner of that Khilafat, all the communities progressing.
God's mercy and blessings on the community are evident in their achievements in the last 100 years.
The word insan, some of the commentators write that this word is actually unsan. Unsan means two love, or two loves. One love for creator, another love for creation. So religion has got two aspects. Love for the Creator and the love for His creation.
I'll give you one example. I mean, I remember once in Dublin, in Ireland, we had this banner up which says love for all, hatred for none. And a Orthodox Jewish man came to me, read the banner and said, do you really believe in this banner? And I said, yes. He said, but I am Jewish and you are a Muslim. So how can you love me? So I told him that we are from that community, from those people who have no hatred for anyone, which is teaching of Quran.
The community has well-established schools, open to all in many countries around the world, from Sierra Leone in Africa to the Fiji Islands in the South Pacific.
In field of service to the humanity also, Ahmadiyya Muslim community is unparalleled. Globally, everywhere. Since another sign of the community being the true community is a service to humanity.
Islam, the teachings of Islam is that we should serve our fellow human beings in the times of need. As a community, this is what we have been doing. It has been always that way.
For decades, the community has opened up many hospitals and medical clinics that offer free medical care to those in need.
We have built hospitals, we have built clinics, we have opened schools, we have opened colleges in Africa, all over the world. We have been doing something. So I mean, it's a part of our duty. It should be second nature to us. It's not something that we should have to think about.
In times of natural disasters, the community has always responded swiftly to deliver aid to victims. From the Great Kobe earthquake in 1995 to more recent times and the devastating earthquake in northern Pakistan.
Just in recent times of tsunami, the times of Kashmir, which I was there myself. I mean, Kashmir was a remarkable thing to see and observe, because here was a country which persecutes us. Here's a country that persecutes Ahmadis, but the Ahmadis responded with such love and tenderness and care, which was unbelievable.
It is a well-known fact that even during the worst humanitarian conflicts, the community has always been at the front line of deploying aid.
I mean, as far as Humanity First is concerned, I mean, the whole reason it was initiated was to serve humanity. That's why it's called Humanity First. Humanity First as an organization is very unique. I think it is, at least, because everything and anything that it collects is for the sake of suffering of other human beings.
Among the millions of Ahmadi Muslims are some who have had profound influence on world events and have been recognized by the international community for their outstanding services to mankind.
We had an opportunity the other day to discuss this question with a prominent Asian jurist, Muhammad Saifullah Khan of Pakistan, who is the president of this 17th session.
Sir Mohammad Zafrullah Khan was the first foreign minister of Pakistan, as well as at one time President of the General Assembly of the United Nations and President and Judge of the International Court of Justice at The Hague.
He was chosen by Quaid-e-Azam to represent Muslim League and Muslims in the tribunal that had been set up for partition of the Punjab. Now, Quaid-e-Azam was so pleased with this that although he held no office, he was asked him to lead the Pakistan delegation to the United Nations. He put the map of Pakistan on the world mapless. That was what the statesman of Calcutta said.
Another such Ahmadi Muslim was Professor Dr. Abdus Salam. He was at the forefront of research in his field and won the Nobel laureate in physics in 1979. He founded the world-famous International Center for Theoretical Physics in Trieste, Italy, which has since been named after him. Both Dr. Abdus Salam and Sir Zafrullah Khan were devout Ahmadi Muslims and highly respected scholars of Islam.